Like slowly but surely, we're coming together. And
I like it.
We're live. We're live.
Oh, nice.
We're live. This is happening. It's on. Game
It
on.
is on. Game on.
Game on.
Game on. It's official. There's a light. It says on air.
I know we have a light that says game on. Our lighting's getting a little bit better. Slowly but surely, it's coming together. Like 2 years later.
The table was the biggest one, dude.
Oh, I know. Like our old table is so rickety.
How many things did we ruin? I think I may have spilt a couple of drinks.
It was like a small, tall folding table. And to get it taller, we put it on a stack of printer cartridge boxes. We were so so yeah, but I do have some more plants in here. Just it's like you know what, between work, life,
Yes.
everything, it's just like it's so much, right?
It's a lot.
And then trying to make time for this.
It's a lot. It can be.
I know, right? And then like you've been sick.
Yes.
Well, like allergies or something like that.
Yeah, like for people who haven't been on for a while because it started with COVID.
Yeah.
And then I fell twice on my ass.
Right. And that got you cutting down Christmas trees and we fell. And then
after that it was like, oh, allergies.
Oh, I know,
It
right?
was awful.
It's just like one, and I had like the flu with the allergy thing, and the flu was like I've never had the flu this bad. I had temperature for multiple nights, and then I couldn't breathe, and like legit flu, like your body was just like hurting. It was like miserable.
That was going around here for a bit.
So I don't think you've been on since we've gotten any of this. And
Since November. October,
we're
November.
We're not on these little hardwood stools now.
I know.
We're like growing up.
It
We're
feels
getting
so
there.
nice.
I know. Like
you even made some You made some cucumber margarita.
Oh, I know. Cucumber,
Dude.
lime, margarita. Cheers, friend.
Cheers.
Good to have you back. The namesake of the show, of the Mark and Jeanette show.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow. That's good.
That is really good.
You know what we're missing? We're missing the tahini that goes on the top. So,
that's really good.
Lime margarita, cucumber lime margaritas. We did ours with 4 cucumbers. I only did 4 limes, and then I used that Minute Maid lime.
The limeade.
Totally cheated.
But it's pretty legit though. I would do that.
The tequila, I probably should have gotten the silver, but this works so because the reposado has a little bit more taste in it since it's aged. But Quita Penas, I've only found it in Mexico, and this is a small bottle.
Wow.
The big bottle's big. You need like both hands like to pour it, but it's sweet. It's like a sweet. It's called crema de tequila, like the tequila cream, I guess. Like kind of like a liqueur.
Yeah.
This stuff, when you drink it chilled, man,
yeah,
amazing.
The best.
Just it's amazing. Like like people that don't like to drink tequila, they only like to shoot shots. You pour this over ice, amazing.
They're drinking the wrong tequila.
So I've for my birthday, I got a bottle of crema de tequila, but it was Corlejos. I killed the whole thing myself. It was just so delicious. So if you're a tequila fan, try crema de tequila.
Quita pena.
Yeah. So
is it embarrassment or is it shyness? It's something like that.
Let me translate.
Pena.
Pena. So pena means pen.
I'm shy or embarrassed, something like
something like that. Pena. Oops, gotta switch it. Grief.
Oh.
So like stress. Like it takes your stress. Quita penas.
So wrong.
I know, right?
Well, I guess I'll take my grief too.
I knew it was something. I knew penas was like something like stress or worries.
Yes.
So quita penas. It takes away your grief. It takes away your worries. So yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's really good. I think we went a little heavy on the tequila, but that's fine. Let's just not get sloshed.
No.
So
that's pretty good though.
Man, you missed so much. I don't even know where to bring you up to speed. First of all, thanks for joining us. We're on all the major podcasting platforms. We're on Rumble. If you're listening to us on Rumble, thank you for joining us. Rumble's been awesome.
Oh yeah, you were saying
because YouTube has an algorithm depending on how many views, how many likes, your content. So people are always trying to figure out how to get over the YouTube algorithm, whereas Rumble's more open. Their algorithm is. Yeah. So you come up. And so our viewers on Rumble has like tripled or quadrupled compared to YouTube.
How weird. So all of our platforms, if you want to list them again.
Oh my God.
I need an Apple.
So we started at YouTube.
Yes.
And then we went to we got on Spotify, we got on Apple. So I upload a thing called Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout puts it on like iTunes, Spotify. I'm not sure if it's Pandora, but pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find us now. So we're growing up. We're like legit.
We're all growing.
We're like, I know, right? One day I'm going to upgrade my my Apple. What is this? No, not Apple. It's Microsoft Surface.
I feel like even our snacks are a little bit more sophisticated.
I know, right?
We're not eating a bag of munchies.
Well, okay. If you haven't been with us for a long time, like we were even just sitting, like we were sitting on 2 executive chairs when we first started.
That's true. Yeah.
Do you remember that? Like,
yeah, it was just 2 chairs.
It was just like 2 chairs,
Microphone.
right?
Uh-huh.
And oh my,
That was our first one.
it was our first one, right?
Yeah.
My Microsoft Surface is being weird.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So this thing is like 20 years old. I think it's so super old. And oh, there we go. I was going to try to pull up the what do you call it?
The first episode ever?
No, the platforms that we're on. And but like I say, my Microsoft Surface isn't working very well.
It's not cooperating.
It's dying.
Uh-oh.
I know. It's like, no. But I mean, like I say, I literally have had this for like almost 20 years now. And it was the Microsoft Surface is cool. It was like, I think the first touchscreen, I'm not sure. But it's just getting old.
Oh.
Yeah.
We need to upgrade you.
I know. We'll get there. So, but from Buzzsprout, when I upload the what do you call it? When I upload it from Buzzsprout, then it goes to all the directories. So like it goes to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, YouTube I upload, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Alexa, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Pocket Cast, Deezer, Listen Notes, and Player FM. I mean,
it's everywhere.
Yeah, so it's like
Oh.
I know, like we're reaching out to the world here. Like,
wow. I hope someone wants to listen to our shenanigans. I think it's good stuff.
It's good stuff.
It's always good stuff.
You know, I think we fall in the middle of the bell curve. So you have like a diverse range of podcasts.
Yeah.
People that focus strictly like on dating, people that are politics, people that are wild, people that are very chill, everything like
People that are wild.
Like, yeah, like some of them are just, they're everywhere. And I think we fall kind of in the middle of it because we don't get too crazy, but we don't.
Yeah. I mean, there's been probably people who watched. I'm sure we may have, I don't know, said some really messed up stuff.
Maybe when we first started. I think we've gotten better at this. We've toned it down some. We'd continue to do the drinks thing because my theme has always been have a drink with your friend.
Yeah.
Drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. Always have to throw that out there. And sometimes we come up with cool stuff to drink too.
Oh yeah, this one's honestly I think on the top of my list now.
And
this is amazing.
Then and then the ice balls. I just love making these ice balls. I got like 3 molds and put the round ice ball in there and everything. So
I like it.
I know, right?
I know. This is bomb.
Dude. Okay. So lots going on. I don't even know where to begin.
Well, the big one.
Well, we'll get there in a minute.
Okay.
Like just all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was funny because you mentioned something about working a lot and just not having the energy, and I feel like all the professionals I talk to, myself included, seems like this month and a half period has been tiring.
Yes.
It feels like you're just a lag of energy.
Yes.
It's just like
trying to find a way to motivate myself.
Trying to stay motivated. Mm-hmm. It's been a challenge, and I go to my gym. I talk to a number of people, guys that work in offices, people that are teachers, and all that stuff. Everybody gives me the same thing lately. And I don't know if it's the moon, don't know if it's the stars. I don't know if it's whatever.
Whatever was
the age
in the
of
water.
Aquarius.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know. Something was in the water last week.
But everybody's been like dragging that way. It's been tough, and I just don't know how to. I don't know what to tell people. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's like, oh, drink this supplement or have this vitamin, or I don't know.
I don't know. I've been taking Airborne every day.
But it's like we're in a slump, right?
Yeah, I've been taking Airborne every day.
Like, I grew up waking up at 3 a.m, go to my parents' business, help them out.
Yeah.
Then go to whatever job I have. Like in hindsight, it's like, how in the hell did I used to wake up at 3 a.m. all the time?
That's wild.
Now it's like
waking up at 5.
7 o'clock, 7:30. It's like, I got to be at work in half an hour. Drag out of bed and throw some water on quickly, brush your teeth, and try to get out the door. It's been hard lately.
Yeah.
And on top of that, having to deal with like throwing your hip out.
Oh man, I know that's been kind of a big one there for you.
So yeah, because your hip goes out, your hips hurt, your back hurts, you can't sleep, and then when you wake up in the morning, it just hurts more.
Oh man.
So like trying to find that motivation, and I don't have a really like a go get 'em kind of thing to say. Just
keep going.
Just keep grinding.
Yeah, just keep going. You just don't stop. Yeah,
we'll get over the hump.
That's pretty much really all it is. I
think you're right.
I've had my boss like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I just don't stop. I just go. It's hard and then some days, but I just don't stop. You just go. Our
roles that you and I are in, where we have like employees to deal with and all that, then you go and you face that and you're like, wah. Right?
And like, you just go. You just have to think fast.
Okay, what's this jam that you got for the charcuterie board?
It is the one that we...
Is it like bacon?
Yes, dude. It's hot pepper bacon jam.
Wow. The bacon really like...
I know, it's smoky. It's weird, right?
It's like a good smoked bacon, but then it's sweet from the jam. You know what it reminds me of? Like when you make bacon for breakfast, like with pancakes, and the syrup gets all over the bacon.
Yes, and you know what?
Dude, that's good.
That's the jam. That was the jam that I got when we went to, what was it? Were we at Ross?
Bogota? I don't know.
When we went to Top Golf.
It's like, were we in Bogota?
I don't know.
Were we in
anyway, it's one
Peru?
of those. I know it's all on the Ross shelf, but I wanted to try it. I was like, it looks good.
First of all, Ross.
I mean, they have weird stuff there.
Ross and TJ Maxx has like weird things.
Yeah, they do.
But it's like amazing.
I mean, it kind of is like, oh, well.
It's like, oh, that was really good.
I know.
I love Brie. Dude, you did a good job on the charcuterie board.
Yeah?
Okay, question. Mm-hmm. Why do they call it a charcuterie board?
I have no idea.
Like, isn't that such a random name? Like, you put crackers and fruit and meat and cheese, and they call it a charcuterie board.
I don't know. Someone just decided to... You know what it reminds me? The person who first came up with it, they had all of these half things in their fridge, and they just took out everything. Yeah, it's like all the leftovers. Let's put it on a board.
In Spanish, this kind of deal is called tapas. Mm-hmm. In Italian, it's like an antipasto. Mm. So why did we have to come up with our own name, charcuterie?
I have no idea.
Because it's like a combination of both. Yeah.
Try the cheese with the...
it's amazing.
The pita. That
is just stupid amazing. Like, I'm going to be all here munching away on this jam because it's like bacon. It's like amazing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've had some pretty good guests on lately, and I'm working on the next 2 guests, and so we're kind of moving along. Things are moving along really good, and work's been going good. Yeah. I think overall, life's been all right. Yeah. I'm totally burned out on the news because
You're burnt out on the news?
I am.
What am I eating? That was a weird combo.
Do this, and I always watch the news. I always watch podcasts. I always do this. Try to keep up to date with current events. And on YouTube, there's like Fox, CNN. I watched that one, Weon, which is from India, and podcasts and everything. And after a while, like, you get like information overload. You just burn out on it. You're like, Jesus, it's too much.
Well, yeah.
Like...
It can be. I could see that.
Politics, everything going on with immigration, with the election cycle, with what's going on in the world.
And even just what's going on in your local area.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, Cruces has had a lot of weird stuff happen. The schools were shut down the other day.
Shootings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shootings. Just crimes against people. I was having a conversation about that just in Cruces. I mean, I don't remember it ever getting dangerous, but it just seems like there's a lot
It seems
of
like it is.
every little while, like, oh, someone shot, so
Yeah.
you hear of a shooting or.
It's been kind of crazy.
And then the stuff that you discovered, the launch. I mean, that was also local too. I mean, it's not all bad, but it's good stuff too.
So SpaceX, they've launched, I think it was like almost like 2 weeks in a row now, isn't it? Like, I'm driving home. Like, so the first one happened maybe like 2 weeks ago, I think. I have to look at my pictures because, it has the date tag on it. But I'm driving home. No. I am doing Sparks delivery.
Yeah.
And first of all, let me tell you, if you're, I always tell people, if you're wanting to make a little extra money and you're wanting to, just kind of, make some cash or whatever, you're in between jobs or something, I think it's amazing that anybody can go get this job. It's called Sparks. It's Sparks Delivery, and it's cool. Our buddy Fabio Fabuloso, he was like, check out Instacart, and we're talking about Uber and Lyft, and I've done all those things, but like what a blessing it is to be able to make your own schedule, have a part-time job, make a supplemental income. And it's nice because you're in your vehicle. You can put a podcast on. You can put the Mark and Jeanette show on. You can have a moment to yourself. You get your orders. You deliver them.
You're out getting fresh air.
What's the one where you can order food?
You're talking about, what are you, DoorDash?
DoorDash. I've done DoorDash. And what a blessing it is to, like, just have that supplemental income on your own schedule and just get out and do a little side hustle. It's easy. It pays well. I've been a big proponent of Sparks Delivery. I've been doing it since COVID.
Yeah.
And even when I resumed my professional career, I always continued with Sparks Delivery. Just, it paid well.
Yeah.
And that's the Walmart delivery, Sam's delivery, Home Depot, and a couple of other ones. But it's just a really good opportunity. And I've always recommended to people, and nobody takes me up on it. Like, people are looking for an extra couple $100 a week.
Oh, my luck is because someone's going to order cases of water to the third story.
That's happened. I canceled an order.
Because that's why I think I've thought twice about it. I'm like, I'm not going to go 3 flights of stairs.
I had one
for
order.
All these cases
that was on the third floor. Mm-hmm. And first of all, you have to find the apartment too if it's a big apartment.
Yeah.
But it was like 5 or 6 cases of water. An additional like 15 gallons of water, and there's no elevator.
Yeah.
Because I have like a little foldable wagon in my truck. And I pull up to the apartment, and I start looking for the apartment, and I realize it's on the third floor. I was like, nope, cancel. Can't find the place. I was like, not going to kill myself. And I was already at the period where my body was hurting from the hip.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, no, can't find it. Return the order. Not going to do this.
Yeah.
No. And just this past week, I went to an apartment by the university, and I had a delivery, groceries, but it also had like a case of water and a big case of TP, a big package of TP.
Oh, yeah.
So I had like 6 bags of groceries, and you get good at holding all the groceries in your hand, like one hand.
Yeah.
Like 3 bags per finger. And then I had like the TP under this arm right here, and you get good at sliding your hand in a case of water and like just holding the plastic and carrying it like that by the plastic. So it was on the third floor, and I'm like, okay, it's one case of water. So I go up the third floor, but not really. The apartment complex was long, and there was one staircase for these ones on the third floor. There's another staircase for these ones over here on the third floor, and they don't connect.
Oh my god.
Same.
Oh my god.
Like it was like the apartments were like building 300.
Yeah.
But building 300 has apartments here and here. So I get up to this one. They're not here on the third floor.
You had to go back down.
Dude, going down was the worst part. Is I get to the bottom of like sit down on the stairs and like, no.
You see, that right there is the reason why probably a lot of people, or not just a lot of people, me. That's like my kryptonite right there. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
But I don't get those that much.
That's good.
That's kind of the exception now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just kind of cool. And I get the orders where you go shopping, you go out, and you're walking around getting the stuff, and sometimes you see something, you're like, "Ooh, I want that." You end up buying it. But Sparks Delivery to supplement your income.
But that's how you ended up watching the launch.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's 8:30 our time. The launch was at 7:30 California time.
Yeah.
And so this past Monday, I was I was doing a delivery, like, kind of out in the open road.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the whole night sky lit up.
Yeah, good.
And then you see a little ball like kind of in front of it.
Yeah.
And it just comes off like this.
It looks almost like it's going not vertical but horizontal.
Right.
But still at a
kind of like an upward trajectory.
Yeah. You have good video. You should actually attach it to
I'll try to attach
at the end
it,
of our podcast so people can see the video because it was
or
good.
even some screenshots. But the Monday was the first time it happened. It happened a couple of years ago, and I saw it and I was like, "What the heck is that?" Like everybody was pulled over, everybody's watching, everybody's on their cell phone, everybody's freaking out. So I see it on Monday. Didn't see anybody that pulled over like I did.
Yeah.
And I'm like all videotaping it, like freaking out. What the heck is this?
You're like, what the hell?
And so I remember the last time it was SpaceX, I Googled it, and sure enough, 7:30 California time, 8:30 our time, and it was coming from the west, the same direction. And then again, last night, Saturday, and I Googled it, SpaceX was putting up 21 more Starlinks and something else. And so I was like, it's just kind of cool. But it's amazing because it lights up the whole horizon. So even as the rocket's over here, the horizon still has like these contrails that are lit up, almost like clouds. And if you didn't know that it was from SpaceX, it was a rocket, you would be like, is that a UFO? Is that CERN? Is like the world going to end? Like
it was pretty impressive. I think it's what's the word? It's not just impressive, but it's surreal.
It's surreal,
It's just, I don't know, miraculous in a sense because it's like, how freaking amazing is that?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's a sight to see.
And
you should definitely share that so people can see it because it's really cool.
Thinking about the Apollo launch, people on TV watching a launch for the first time. And here I am just like sitting here like watching a rocket now like nothing from my house, from here.
Yeah.
Like 9 hours away. And you can still see it because it's like the big launcher. So I was just like kind of thinking like people, that's probably what people felt when they first launched like Apollo and all that. You know what I mean? Like,
it's pretty cool though.
Kind of cool. It was kind of cool. Kind of a cool thing.
Oh no.
We live in an incredible time where we get to partake in that. You know?
Yeah. It's definitely impressive. Anyway, it did leave me pretty. And it's just in awe. I mean, it's not something you see all the time. We're in the desert. We see wind.
Well, you know what though? We've seen lights in the sky.
Yes, lights in the sky. I still remember that one time we saw it.
Like on cue, I say, Jeanette, I see lights in the sky, and then boom, there's lights right there.
Three of them. And
as you recall, like you try to rationalize it. Mm-hmm. You're trying to be like, is it a helicopter? It's not moving. It's not high and it's not low. It's not. I mean, there is distance, but it's not behind the needle bound. So you try to rationalize it in your mind. What is it? But you almost can't.
Well, because I mean, you just can't. And you do look. You look at the comparison with the land around you. You're like, is that possibly a street light? You're like, no, dude, it's too high. Is that a cell tower? Like, what the heck is that?
But these were.
But you don't see it. I mean,
these were very obviously out of place. These lights, and so. We have a NASA substation here, and I always see lights out in that direction. And again, in your mind, you try to rationalize it like, is it lights? Is it like a flares? Is it like a helicopter?
Yeah, what is it?
And if you go through it in your mind enough, it's like you start eliminating what could it be. But I've said this before, and I think I've said it during COVID. The more I learn, the more I realize I don't know a lot. There's a lot that I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just thinking about I feel the same way. I mean, I could be looking at a satellite for all I know, but I won't know it because have I seen one in real life? Like you've seen pictures, but not in real life.
Yeah, like, absolutely.
Like,
right.
What do I know? Like I can't see it. I just see this.
So we have the opportunity on Monday to see something fantastic.
I
Again,
know.
kind of a good segue. We have a solar eclipse that's going to cross the entirety of the United States continent. It's the second one. Well, I don't know if that first one that went through Oregon, from Oregon to like east, from west to east. I don't know if that was a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse. Can you hook me up with more margarita mix, please?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's delicious.
I know. It's like you could really taste the cucumber.
I know, right? It's like
it's really good. It's like, I don't know. It tastes clean.
it was
It's
easy to
clean.
make. It was easy to make, and I think that's
Clean drink.
Oh, absolutely. So, I you know,
All right.
I gotta see if I okay. There we go. See if I can get this. Oh, this thing just doesn't. It's just not working. What the heck? You know. I don't know what's going on
All
with
right.
this thing.
Pass me pour me some tequila.
I don't know what's going on with my with my surface here. Oh,
I think you're gonna have to
it's
retire it.
it's old.
Oh,
I know. That happens with technology, and it's happening faster and faster.
it's happening with me, so faster and faster. It's old, but she's just old.
I know. I feel
Getting
old. So,
well, that's how this last winter made me feel. I was like, oh, am I just getting old? Like, that was the first time I had the realization.
right,
Like,
you know.
what is happening?
Oh my God! So, August 21st, 2017, the Great American Eclipse. I'm just trying to see if it was. It was a solar eclipse. Yeah, the moon blocked out the.
Well, didn't we experience that not that long ago, where we were like, it was just such a weird day? Wasn't that long ago?
That was 2017.
No way.
Yeah.
That was 2017?
That was a solar eclipse.
That was the last time that happened?
Yeah.
Why does it feel like it happened like a year ago? It's so weird. My brain's all like,
Right. So
it's going to be cool because I'm going to be out and about.
it came from Oregon all the way through. Was it Miami or something like that, or like on the East Coast? You know, and
We're not in the path of the eclipse.
no,
But we're pretty close as far as
we're 9 hours away from where it's going to go in Texas.
So we'll get to see majority of the blackout, but we're not going to be at
Right.
100%. And then I was reading up on that. People have been planning. They have been planning it. A lot of people like book flights to like Niagara to
So,
is it Indianapolis?
It goes from
or is it
Texas all the way through Maine. It's got like a south
Is it
by
Indianapolis?
southeast. It's going through
no
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma? I know Texas.
Is it Arkansas, Illinois, Connecticut? What's next to
Maybe
Illinois?
it
Is
was
that
Illinois.
That's not Michigan. It's what's below Michigan? I can't think. It's not
Wait,
Kansas.
It's not Indianapolis.
Connecticut, Connecticut, New York, Maine.
Where did I get that from?
Oh God, like just a lot of states. Like,
So people have been like booking trips so they could actually be at on the path to see it 100%.
Local states are like freaking out with the number of people that want to go see it, like traffic and all that.
Yeah, they're afraid too that people are. People are gonna pull over or they're gonna create like unsafe road conditions because people are crazy anyway. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't predict. Some people act erratic, so I don't know.
So okay, I've got to preface this a little bit.
What are the theories happening? There's got to be some sort of like.
There's a ton.
Oh, let's go down the conspiracy theory road. I love it.
Okay, so where do I even start?
The most extreme, please.
The last two conversation. Let me see here. Crossing. The last two Okay, I before I even get to that. So there's a lot going on in the world.
Yes.
And if you listen to our podcast, even a little bit in the last two of them, we talked about a lot of it, on how it relates to like Bible prophecy.
Oh yeah.
End of days, biblical signs in the skies, and all that stuff. And so there's a lot going on with that. And it's funny because we live in a time of science.
Yes.
It's very Cartesian. So it's no longer, the world transitioned. The world went from a very Aristotelian, very empirical mindset where you tested stuff based on your senses and what you can see. So like, oh, this is an apple. It's a solid. It's sweet. It came from a tree. It fell from a tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's things that you discover just by your observation and senses. And over the course of many generations, we went through the Enlightenment, the Renaissance. We've transitioned the industrial era. We've transitioned to a very Cartesian way of thinking, where things are very science based.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can you test it? Can you theorize? Can you replicate your results and then peer review it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so which has its merits because it's gotten us to where we're at now.
Mm-hmm.
Where science, chemistry, physics, everything, technology, the mechanical engineering to get us where we have these iPhones, which has more data power than the Apollo rockets that went to the moon. Do you know what I mean?
That's a lot of technology in a small little hand, but they're amazing. Nobody can. I mean, I don't know anybody.
The battery, the Wi-Fi,
it's amazing.
Cell phone technology, touchscreen. I mean, just like there's so much you can do with a phone. Which in the '80s, growing up as a kid, was very Star Trek.
I never would have predicted this.
Like remember on Star Trek,
they would have told me.
They flipped it up. Beep beep beep. Beam me up, Scotty. You know what I mean? Like yeah. So we've gotten away from this whole observing signs and reading it as a sign and the prophecy and all that.
So are you thinking there's a lot of people out there who firmly believe that this is like the start of the apocalypse? This is a sign from the Bible.
It's a lot of things.
Wow.
It's a lot of things. So just to kind of go back to what we were talking about, on our previous, and look, I like to preface it this way. I don't believe in coincidence.
Yeah.
I think there's relevant reasons for things. Things happen the way they are, for a reason. We're all connected. Even science, one discovery to another. I mean, there's just to say that like, hey, we discovered a neutrino by coincidence. No, we theorized our neutrinos. We created the detectors. The right people were in the right place. There were outliers. You know, I mean, a lot of things had to happen all at once for us to be able to do this mega science where we discover the neutrino, just as an example. Or where we could put the Hubble telescope, the right people, the right science. A lot of things came together to make it work.
Yeah.
And we have all this fantastic mechanical science, I don't want to say industrial science, that's not really the phrase, but just to make all this happen, right?
Yeah.
So, but if you go back to everything going on now, now an eclipse is an eclipse.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you want to talk about a coincidence, like I said, don't believe in coincidences. The fact that an eclipse can happen, it's like 1,000 to 1, like odds are against that on a galactic level. Like, you know, you think about the universe, everything being right. The chance that we could have an eclipse is phenomenal because the sun is exactly 400 times larger than the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And the sun is also 400 times the distance away from us as the moon. And because there's that perfect ratio, when the moon is aligned with the earth just right, it blocks out the sun just right.
Well, yeah.
So it's like the odds that our moon had the right proportion ratio of size to distance with the sun and with us, like, where does that happen? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, the odds are, yeah.
But it happened.
Yeah.
It happened.
And it's happening. It's going to happen tomorrow.
So, and we could look at that now and be like, okay, we know about the orbits, we know about this, we know about that. But if you take it back 1,000 years, people see an eclipse, oh my God. What is this?
Oh yeah, people would think the world is
turns
ending.
to night.
Yeah. They would think
like,
it's a sign from
what does the Bible say? Yeah. Short story. So Christopher Columbus when he would come to America, there was an island he went to. and there was natives there, and he needed supplies. He didn't have enough supplies after his journey, and he told this group of islanders, "I need your supplies to continue my voyage or continue what I'm doing." Well, this particular group of natives in the Caribbean, they didn't create a surplus crop. It's tropical, not really a winter. So they always had just what they needed. They didn't have a surplus. So when Columbus asked him, like, give me your surplus because we need supplies, they were like, hell no. No, why are we going to give you? Like, we'll starve. We don't have enough to keep us going. And, by the time Christopher Columbus sailed the oceans, we knew about science. We knew about eclipses. We could actually plot them out. Yeah. And so we already knew about that science. And that was like in the 1500s. When did Christopher Columbus come over? 15 something. So Christopher Columbus comes over, and he tells these natives, "My God is going to be angry at your gods and at you for not giving us supplies and helping us. And if you don't bring us supplies in this many days, my God is going to turn the sun to night, day to night, and blot out the sun." And the natives like, "Ooh, okay, bro." Like,
you're crazy. You're crazy, man.
We believe in our Caribbean gods, and our Caribbean gods are great. You're just nuts, bro. You just came on a wooden ship. Well, like I say, Columbus knew
the stars
about the eclipse, and that it was going to be in so many days. And so the eclipse came, blocked out the sun, day turned to night. It happened. I guess they were right on the path of it, of the total darkness. The natives freak out. "Oh my God, his God is greater than our God. And we're going to, like, it's going to be bad for us and blah, blah, blah." So they give him all the supplies he needs. And he continues on with his journey and, conquering the New World. Or not, he didn't really conquer the New World, but the islands, whatever. Yeah. So, but he knew about the eclipse. And people like the way they relate to the gods. The native islanders, they're no longer there. They're long gone.
So that was many years ago, but what do you think is happening? What is out there today that are going to make people go nuts tomorrow? Yes, people are going to be like, apocalypse. I mean, I get the whole religious part. But what other things are out there?
Well, okay, there's a lot of things. Okay, so we were talking about Bible prophecy in the end of days last time. Still going on. I don't know when just real fast. Between 1492 and 1504, Christopher Columbus led 4 transatlantic maritime expeditions. So over the course of 8, 9, 10, 11, over the course of 12 years, and those eclipses. So we were close to it, 1500. So there. Okay, so a lot of this goes to.
We're close to it. Just because we've seen the turn of the century doesn't make us ancient.
I know, right? So a lot of this is relevant to Judeo-Christian, probably even Islam, like that whole lineage of religion. Because those 3 religions, they're all the Abrahamic religions. Yeah. You have Abraham. And the Hebrews came first. They came up with Judaism, Moses in the bush. Then you had the first coming of the Messiah, crucified, and then you see the birth of Christianity. And then 500 or 600 years later, you had the Prophet Muhammad. He said the angel spoke to him, the inspired word, and then you had the start of Islam. Yeah. But they were all rooted in Abraham. Oh man, like some of these buttons just aren't working. I don't know what's going on. So where am I going with it? Okay, so in the last 2 podcasts, we were talking about these things called the red heifers. Do you know what a heifer is?
You're talking about like a cow?
A cow that has not given birth. That's a heifer. Well, the Jewish religion, there's purification routes that are listed in Deuteronomy or Leviticus about the laws of Judaism and how do you what you have to do for penance for sins and all these burnt offerings and all that stuff. Well, whenever the Jewish were doing something, they would have to purify the priests, the tools, whatever. Like when they built the first 2 temples, they had to purify that. They purified the land. And what was required to to do that was a sacrifice of a perfect red heifer. And these red heifers have to be the right age, the right size. They have to be all red. And they've done this like a total of something like 9 times over the course of like 2,000 years. You know, they built the first temple. They did it. They did the second temple. Whenever they're doing big stuff, they do this thing. Well, this relates to like the end time prophecies. It relates to the second coming of the Messiah for Christians, the first coming for Judaism. Well, to usher in the end times, the first major sign was the creation of the Hebrew nation, which I think was in 49 or something, right around the 1949, when the Israelis went back to the Middle East. They created Israel, the Jewish nation, and so that was the first major sign of the end times.
Oh,
the return of the Jewish nation. So one of the major signs of the end times is the rebuilding of the temple. You can't have the coming of the Messiah, then there's the Antichrist and all that. You can't have any of that without the rebuilding of the temple. So the Jewish people have wanted to build a temple again. But you can't build it, a holy place, without the purification. So you need red heifers, perfect red heifers. So they're always looking for red heifers. Well, they found red heifers. They find them in Texas. Go figure.
Yeah.
They took like something like 6 of them last year to Israel. They flew them out there. They can never be yoked either, and to do these sacrifices. And then you have like part of the sacrifice. Once you do you sacrifice them and you get the ashes of the red heifers. You have to mix them with the old ashes from the previous one, like 1,000 years ago or something like that.
and those are kept where?
They found them in vials with the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Oh, interesting.
So they had them.
I was going to say, yeah, that's great, but where do you find the old ashes? It's not like misplacing a ring or anything.
Somebody saved them. Somebody saved them. Okay, so then the like was it 6 months ago or 10 months ago, Hamas attacked the Jewish nation.
Yes.
Do you know why they attacked the Jewish nation? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. I don't really.
Like we know what happened. People were at a concert there. They multiple attacks. A lot of people died. Now the Israelis are invaded Gaza to root out Hamas and all that stuff. A lot of bloodshed. There was a spokesman for Hamas. He released a video on the internet. I've seen it.
Oh, you have?
I've seen this. You can Google it and find it. He said the main reason for the attack on Israel was to prevent the desecration of the land. And to prevent Israel from doing their pagan things. Israelis are getting ready to do the sacrifice of the red heifers.
Oh, that's weird.
They specifically list that as the main reason for the attacks on Israel.
It's a lot of deep-rooted history and a lot of just, I mean, it's just so
religious
deep-rooted.
tradition and all that, right?
And it's hard for, honestly, like I think it's hard for a lot of people to grasp that. And they don't, I mean, if they're like me,
like
it's a lot, and I don't really.
There's a lot of people that don't
Bible.
believe. Look, and I don't study the Bible.
It's because
either.
we're so like in our country. I mean, we're fairly new nation.
Right.
I mean,
200 years old, 225 or something like that.
We don't have that sort of deep rooted,
right?
Like history. I mean, like that.
I mean, the Israel nation is based on Judaism.
It's fascinating when you think about it, but
like a lot of these Islamic nations are based on their religion. Their laws are based on the laws of Islam and all that, right?
So with that being said, though, what is the prediction for tomorrow?
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Come on, Mark, tell me.
So the Israelis, this is the year that they were going to do the red heifers. So that they can purify the land. They're going to sacrifice them the Mount of Olives, which is the Mount of Olives is very important for like all religions. The temple where they build the Temple Mount, is important for all three religions. Like all three religions are they have such a connection to Israel.
Do you think we're going to see a lot of bloodshed tomorrow?
tomorrow. Well, no, I don't think tomorrow, but it's just curious. The Bible said Jerusalem was the center of the world. The people believed Jerusalem was the center of the world. And all these religions, their founding is based in Israel, Jerusalem, and all that, right? So, and it's funny that there's just all this, like, if you're a hardcore Christian, you would want the second coming of the Messiah.
Well, yeah.
If you're a hardcore Jewish person or Jew, you would want the coming of the Messiah because for them it's the first coming. But what would usher that in would be the building of the temple again. And if you're a hardcore Islamic person, you'd be against it because you have the temple mound that they built on the foundation of the Jewish temple, and if you saw the Jews building a temple and doing their sacrifices there, you would see it as a desecration of your temple, your mosque. So there's a bunch of like craziness around it, and Jewish Passover. So they're supposed to do it before Passover. So for we Christians, we celebrate Passover on Easter, which was like a week ago. A week ago. Jewish Passover starts on the evening of Monday, April 22nd, and goes through April 30th. So Jewish Passover is in a month. So we could see the red heifers be sacrificed between now and then, theoretically.
Yeah.
And do you know what the Passover is?
Yeah, I do know what the Passover is.
What is it?
The Passover is when the Jews were fleeing Egypt. And no, it's
related.
It's really, yes, I do. And I know that because they were trying to protect the people, they had to sacrifice the blood of the lamb, and they covered their doors with it, and the firstborn sons.
So at this point,
taken.
Moses was already returned to the Moses people to be their leader and all that, and God promised to free the Jewish people from the captivity of Egypt. And so God said, "I'm going to release a plague." Or no, I'm going to strike down all the firstborn sons. And look, I'm gonna butcher all this. My history, unless I look it up, everything gets butchered a little bit. But basically, tells Moses, get the lamb, and it had to be like, was it like lamb
or the blood of the lamb? And then they had to.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think. Was there something about the lamb? Did it have to be like I don't know, something about the lamb? And then you're right. They put the blood over their doors, and the spirit of death that would kill all the firstborns would pass over. That house.
The houses that were protected by the blood of the lamb.
Hence the name Passover. And then the Pharaoh, his firstborn son, was killed too. So that's all related. And it's just curious how that all comes together. So we have all this strife going on. And look, if the Israelis do this and they do build a temple, then you can have all the Islam nations like turn against them. You're talking like the perfect recipe for like World War III, Armageddon. Like, they're going to be angry. They're going to attack Israel. Like just with all the craziness going on in the world right now, Iran and everything like that. Like, that's why the Houthis are launching rockets at all the ships because they're showing solidarity with Hamas. Like, it's just like, it's weird. It's all connected. So, okay. So there's all that, right? So, in a strange correlation, the Bible talks about signs of the sky. In the sky.
Okay.
And like I'm gonna butcher this. I've listened to so much on this. So much. And it's not a rabbit hole I wanted to go down, but I couldn't help it. So something about like the Bible says something like the signs of the moon is for the Israelis. That's like for the Israelis.
Yeah.
The signs of everything else, the sun and the stars, is for all the other nations. So, like as omens, prophecy. So, it tells religious scholars, religious people to pay attention to the signs. All right? So, there's so many coincidences with the last two eclipses.
Coincidences as in how?
What does it all mean? Darn it. I'm just so disappointed I can't get this thing to work.
I know. I know you keep struggling with it.
I know. I'm trying to get it to open up so I can do this.
I think you're just gonna have to retire that one.
I know. I just need to cough up money to buy it, and just buy another one. But okay, so I don't even know where to start. So in 2017,
Okay.
there was an eclipse that crossed west to east across the United States.
Okay. So west to east. Okay.
Started in Oregon, Salem, Oregon, crossed all the way to the east of the United States.
Okay.
So big sign, big. It's like it's an eclipse. It's a
Yeah.
sign from God, right? Like if you and I were religious scholars, we would look at that sign from God. What does it mean? So that first eclipse entered the United States through Salem, Oregon. Do you know what Salem ancient meaning is?
You're talking about like
The word Salem.
you're talking about like Salam.
Salem. Yeah. Mhm.
No, I don't.
That's the ancient name of Jerusalem. Salem.
Salem
Yeah.
is the ancient name for Jerusalem.
And
So what's the meaning behind all that?
The 2017 crossing, the eclipse crossing of the United States, crossed through a number of towns called Salem. Boom, 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 boom.
How weird.
Now, you could say, no, that's just a coincidence because Salem is like one of the most common names for a town.
Is it though? I don't really think
I don't think in this day and age it is, but
Well, we do have a Salem
but-
here in New Mexico, so
But
maybe.
when people were making names hundreds of years ago, when they're settling the West, you had a lot of Christians, a lot of Christian people, and they're like, "This is going to be our new Jerusalem, our new place of peace, where we can set up our homes." Then they name it Salem. Okay, all right. But it's like one of the most common names in the United States for a town, Salem.
Yeah, so
But
is Springfield.
So. Okay, The Simpsons.
Just throwing it out there. What
I
does
know,
that mean?
So yeah. So you had that one in this you had that one in the 2017. And then you had the what is this one called? You had another eclipse, and it was called the the annular solar eclipse in 2023. Crosses from it crosses across the United States. Now you have the 2024 total solar eclipse.
Okay, so I'm thinking of the 2023 one because
So
that
you
wasn't that long ago.
We have one in 20.
I just remember it was like a Saturday,
Yeah.
and it was like a really weird.
You had one in 2017.
It
You had
happened
one
in
in
the morning.
2023. Now you have this one, to 2024. So in this one, what's curious about this one,
It's a total.
it goes the other way. It goes south to north, and it's going to cross. It's going to cross. There's on its path are 36 towns called Nineveh. Do you know that name, Nineveh?
Oh heck no!
It's another biblical town.
Are you kidding?
It was a real place in history.
Really?
So, what if I told you Jonah and the whale?
Yes, Jonah and the whale.
Do you know-
I do know the story of Jonah and the whale.
So God tells Jonah, go to Nineveh and tell the people of Nineveh, if they don't repent, I will destroy their city. And the sign will be a great eclipse. Okay, so Jonah was afraid. He was terrified by this. What did he do?
He had the whale swallow him.
Yeah, he jumped on a ship. And I'm in the rough waters, and they determined it was him. They throw him overboard. The whale eats him for 3 days, which is related to later to Christianity with Jesus going into the earth for 3 days, like Jonah went into the whale for 3 days, and after the 3 days, the whale spits him out, and then after the third day, Christ is risen again. Right? So you have that correlation.
3 days.
3 days.
3
And
days.
so one of the sayings from the Bible, and again, I'm going to butcher this, but you can fact check it. It's all there. Jesus in the Bible said something about the only prophecy you need to worry about, or you need to be aware of, is the prophecy of Jonah, relating to Jonah. And so Jonah finally goes to Nineveh, tells them, you got to repent, God's going to destroy your city. And so what does everybody do? Everybody dresses in sackcloth. They put all their animals in sackcloth. They all fasted and they all repented, and Nineveh was spared.
Okay, so where is Nineveh? And here, how many Ninevehs do we have?
In the path of the eclipse, there's 30. Let me think here. 33, and 30 of them. There's 36, but 33 of them are going to be in total darkness.
Ooh.
Why is that significant? 33 is the age of Jesus when he started his ministry, when he was crucified.
That's really weird.
And so you say, but that's only 33, and you said the 36, but 3 of them aren't in darkness. Well, then you realize Jesus was crucified on the third day. You have the extra 3. Okay, so it gets weirder. Bum, bum, bum. So you have Jesus. He's talking about Jonah.
Yeah.
And he says, hey, that's the only prophecy you need to be worried about. What a constellation is going to be overhead during the eclipse?
I don't really know.
The constellation Cetus.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't know that.
So you have Scorpio, and you have all this stuff. There's that one, the dog constellation. I don't remember what it is. That the dog, like Perseus' dog or something. I always spot those ones out. I didn't know this either. Cetus is the constellation for the whale.
Oh, weird.
That's over the skies right now too.
Now I'm gonna have to look that up. Damn.
So not only is this eclipse going on the path of Nineveh across the United States, and not only that relates to the time of Jonah and Nineveh, but then you have a constellation named Cetus overhead.
Oh my God! All the Karens are gonna go crazy.
Right. So you have people like, what?
Oh, it's crazy.
It's like what's going on, right? So people are reading into this. So the 2017, the 2023, and the 2024 eclipses all cross. You have 2 of them come down like this, and the third one comes down like this. The 2024 crosses it like this. So the crossing makes letters in the Hebrew alphabet. Let me see here if I can look it up. Let me see here. So the crossing of the eclipse is called letters. Let me try that. The eclipse letter. I'm trying to Google this. So what signs are the eclipse? So they say like us, we will like us nowadays. We don't know what those letters are. It's Hebrew, old language. You know what I mean? But they said an ancient Hebrew would know what that meant. And the 2 letters are Aleph and Tau, something like that. And those 2 letters means, Aleph means the beginning and Tau means like the end. So those, as they relate to like our religions, my L's not working
so
either.
people are thinking that possibly that's the beginning of the end.
It could be. So let's see here. Crossing lines first. I'm trying to pull this up. Yeah. Oh no. Aleph and Tavs, something like that. So the crossing of these eclipses makes these signs. So you have all these signs. You have the signs of the letters for the beginning and like the end. You have the whale in the sky. You have the 2024 eclipse crossing through all these Ninevehs. I'm curious that the eclipse starts in Texas across the United States because that's where the red heifers come from.
Weird.
So you have like all these like weird things. Like if you were a conspiracy, I don't know if you're a conspiracy theorist, if this would be up your alley. But of course, if you were like a hardcore religious person, you probably would be like,
oh gosh,
kind of like you would probably be somebody standing on the street corner with a time like the world's going to end, repent.
Yeah.
And so the big sign of all this means like repent. You have to repent. Now's the time to repent. Okay. And that these eclipses usher in devastation. There was an eclipse like this, similar to this in Turkey, just this past 20 years ago. Massive earthquake in Turkey. An eclipse like this, I think, was in Syria. Massive earthquake in Syria. An eclipse exactly like this. An eclipse exactly like this happened over the United States. And hold on, let me pull it up real fast for you guys. In 1811. Do you know what happened in 1811?
No. Are you telling me what earthquake happened? You're talking about earthquakes. You're talking about some sort of natural disaster. So what do you think?
New Madrid earthquake, the largest earthquake in the United States.
You're kidding.
The eclipse crossed right over.
Where was it?
New Madrid, which is on the Mississippi River.
Oh. So do you predict that maybe we're going to have an earthquake maybe this week?
Hold on. Oh. It gets even better. So during this new eclipse this year, they had the devil comet. They said you should be able to see it in the night sky during the eclipse. You should be able to see it with the unaided eye. It's a comet that's passing by Earth, and it looks like it has two horns because it's round, and the trail of it makes like two horns like this. They're calling it the devil comet. So you have the comet, the devil comet. You have the total eclipse as it relates to like the signs in the sky. When was the last time the eclipse and the comet were seen together? This same comet was seen together over the United States.
You're talking about 1811.
1811.
Wow.
This same comet.
Wow. Crossed
over the United States in 1811, and it was seen the same time as the as that eclipse. And what followed was the New Madrid earthquake. The earthquake was so intense. So New Madrid, let me see if it tells me the place where New Madrid. I don't even know what state New Madrid is in.
I was going to say I have never even heard of that.
Right. Let me Google that.
Didn't you say it was like Missouri or Mississippi?
It's on the Mississippi River, right?
Oh, yeah.
What state is the New You know what? This is like so much information. I didn't even know where to start writing it down. So it's okay. While not well known for earthquakes as California or Alaska, the New Madrid seismic zone, located in southern Missouri, northeastern Arkansas, western Tennessee, western Kentucky, and southern Illinois. So you have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states. Is the most active seismic area in the United States east of the Rocky Mountains. So that earthquake, where it's in like the southern United States, it was so powerful, it was ringing like the church bells in Philadelphia. They felt it in New York.
How crazy.
Like that's, what was it, like 200, 300, 400 miles away or something like that? Like all the way on the coast. And it's also the longest earthquake on record because it shook so long. The most powerful and the longest earthquake in American history, it was so powerful with the earth going up and down that it actually caused the Mississippi River to go backwards. The only time ever in history the Mississippi went in the opposite direction.
Oh, wow.
Effect, like it leveled forests, it leveled houses. People were missing because the earth opened up in so many places. They think people were just swallowed up whole, like they would just go in.
That's crazy. So what do we need to do? Stay outside.
I don't know. Like, could you imagine an earthquake that strong happening again in those areas?
That is ridiculous. And you know, the weird thing about this is that just based on the excitement people have just to see the total eclipse, like people are purposely going, like these towns are going to double in population just because people are so excited about it. So hopefully no earthquakes happen, but I don't know.
I think the New Madrid earthquake happened like 3 months after the eclipse.
I would hope it doesn't happen same week.
What's coincidence about that is like it didn't happen the night of the eclipse, but it happened thereafter. Whereas there was an eclipse in Nineveh, Jonah told the people, repent or will be destroyed. The people repented and the city was spared.
How crazy.
So
we'll have to remember this one. Let's see if
let's see.
Yeah,
like
hopefully not.
And what's crazy, I mean, Taiwan had a massive earthquake. Massive. There's like rock slides. I've been watching all that. New York, a little known fault in like the New York area past week. There was an earthquake in New York. Do you know that? just this past week, there was an earthquake in New York.
Earthquakes.
I want to say it was like Friday. My buddy lives in Philadelphia, and he was on a conference call with investors from New York, April 5th. And what's today? Today is the 7th. Yeah, so Friday. He messaged me and he says, I'm on a conference call with all these investors on Zoom. They're in New York and everything starts shaking. And he's like, and he felt it in Philadelphia.
That's wild.
And
that is so wild.
It wasn't a strong earthquake. It was a 4.8. But they all felt it because it was a very shallow earthquake. It wasn't deep in the mantle. And because it was shallow, they were able to feel it. Like, because 4.8 isn't very, magnitude 10 compared to like an 8.1 is not very strong.
Yeah.
So he felt it in Philadelphia, things in New York, people were freaking out. That just happened Friday. You don't hear about it in the news, but
no, you don't hear about it.
So this is like all going on, and so now we have like if you're a Christian scholar or Jewish scholar, maybe even Islamic, I don't know, like this. I kind of started getting into this about the star and crescent, what it meant in relation to an eclipse. And but I didn't really go deep down that rabbit hole. But it's funny, you like have the three major religions, how they relate to like all these signs, and how you can read, if you choose to do so, you could read into it. If you're a Christian, it would mean like it's time to repent. If you're I don't know, like if it means the same thing if you're Jewish or Islam. I don't know what that means in terms of those religions, but
Do you want some ice?
Oh yeah, definitely. So, but it's kind of, they kind of all tie in, and it's just kind of an interesting time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what? I don't know. Like I say, not really a conspiracy theory kind of thing. It's more like the whole Bible prophecy and all that. But you can, if you step out of our worldview now, of this whole Cartesian way of looking at things, well, this is just science, this is just the transverse of the moon and the sun and all that, and look at it from a perspective of 2,000 years ago, what does it mean to you? Or you could just be the way we are now, day to day, social media, and be like, oh, it's just the orbits of the moon and the earth and the sun. It happens.
Not everyone believes that, though.
Yeah,
I mean...
So I think you and the viewers and everybody, I think it's up to you to decide what it means, but it has strong correlations.
Yeah, I also think that...
Cheers.
Cheers, friend. This is just such an amazing...
That's a great drink. I love it.
I know. It's clean.
It is clean.
It tastes real
I think
clean.
that you're right. It tastes clean. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
No, but it's exciting times if you are religious, because just
scary
talking to
scary times.
Scary times. My dad's very super religious. We talk every time I see him. We talk about God.
You should bring some of this up with him, see what he thinks.
We talk about God like all the time. He tells me stories. He's sneaky. We'll be having a casual conversation, and all of a sudden he gives me a Bible lesson, and you don't think he's sneaky, because I don't read the Bible.
Yeah.
But a lot of what I've learned about the Bible is because my dad will just tell me a Bible story. Like, I feel like he'll just tell me a story, and it'll be a Bible story, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And he loves talking about it. But for him, end of days and all of this is exciting.
It's a very deeper thing for him.
Yeah, it's because it's like being closer to your maker, and just it gives people hope.
It does give,
and
like, the
it's
end
not
times,
doom and gloom for. I mean, if you believe it, it just gives people hope, because
if you believe in the end times, the journey is terrifying.
Yes,
but the destination is what's glorious.
Exactly, and that's what he gets super excited. He just just loves God.
Yeah, and that's great.
Yeah, and that's good. So it's just how people believe. Yeah.
So some of the end time predictions, or the signs. 3 days of darkness. So people are like, will the eclipse usher in the 3 days of darkness? Because that's one thing that they talk about. Like, one of the signs of the end times is this 3 days of darkness. And what else? Oh, what's kind of curious in regarding to all this eclipse stuff going on tomorrow, Monday, is this. Let me think here.
If there's 3 days of darkness, I'm staying at staying home.
I'm going to church every day now. So no.
Going to church every day.
Many states will have the National Guard out.
Really?
In 2017 with the solar eclipse, the major warning was don't look at the eclipse with your eyes. You have to have solar eclipse classes, right? Because the intensity of the sun. This warning that has come out in many states this past week is stock up on food, stock up on water, have an AM, FM radio. It's like Y2K.
Really? That's weird.
And one of the National Guards, they're even deploying this one unit that specializes in like nuclear responses and biochemical responses. It's like, whoa, what the heck do they know that we don't know? You know what I mean? Like,
that's really weird.
That's really weird, right? And I mean, and this is not like conspiracy theory. I mean, they are doing that. And again, there's a lot of stuff on the news where it's like, what does this all mean? So you could take it many different ways. I think the big takeaway, and maybe the big takeaway for me is like reflect. If you are Catholic / Christian, then reflect and repent and think about the all that's going on in your life that we've done. A lot of craziness in the world.
Yes.
Like violence and this woke agenda and all this stuff, getting away from our Christian values of the nation, and so there's a lot of craziness going on in that sense. So, as a Christian and a Catholic, reflect on that, and I think a biblical scholar would even say, pray and repent.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I think as a normal person, like somebody that's maybe not religious or maybe somebody that's a little bit religious, it's not a bad thing to like reflect.
Absolutely not.
Pray.
No, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing.
And I don't know another word for sin, but like we've all sinned in our life. So maybe like, reflect on that and be like, I'm really, what they say? Like forgive those around you for the wrong they've done to you and ask for forgiveness for the things you've done. Not bad things to reflect on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're very religious and you're reading into it, then then pray and repent, and it's going to be an interesting couple months.
It is going to be weird.
Remember, next month is Jewish Passover, the heifers. The eclipse is tomorrow. Is there going to be a massive earthquake in the next 3 months in New Madrid?
Well, we're saying it here, so there's proof somewhere. I mean, we had to talk about it.
Unless we're like the people of Nineveh in the times of Jonah, where we all repent. But we have a lot of crazy people in the United States right now too. Yeah. A lot of craziness, a lot of bad politics, a lot of just craziness. But again, is it? I don't think it's conspiracy theory. I think it's more of like Bible prophecy and times. If that's your thing, that's your cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking of, because I've been reading so much into this. It's been a lot to process. I
haven't read enough about it, but I've definitely been the last couple of months definitely in a different place about God and religion.
Yeah.
In a better place in regards to that. So I mean, whatever people's beliefs are, whether you're just getting into it or just reflecting or just being spiritual or whatever the case is, it's always good to find something that is going to empower you, find that peace, exactly. And find a way to forgive yourself, forgive others.
Yes. Even, they say it's a healthy thing, but even if you're not like a hardcore Christian or Catholic, just finding that peace and forgiving yourself and forgiving others is just, does a lot of good for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Like on a mental health, I guess, level. Yeah. But interesting correlations, though.
Yeah.
Like the history, the proof is in the pudding. The history is there. So what does that mean for now, right now? That's happening tomorrow in the next couple of months? What does that all mean now?
I don't know, but now you have my curiosity peaked. Now I'm gonna start keeping up with this. This is amazing.
So, like, if things happen the way it was predicted to happen, like, okay, like, I'm more religious than you. I'm a Catholic. I'm a devout Catholic. You're, I don't know.
Finding her way.
You're finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
No.
Finding meaning.
Like, imagine somebody that didn't have a relationship with God, and I don't want to say relationship, but
I've gone back and forth in regards to that, and there's nothing wrong with.
But imagine imagine somebody that wasn't like deeply rooted with like God, the Christian God, or the God of old, right? Or the God of the Bible. If you weren't deeply rooted on it, but you read about all this and everything unfolds the way that it says it's going to unfold, what would that do to somebody? Be like, would that scare them to be like, maybe this is real?
I think it scared a lot of people to. I mean, let's say you're not religious, right? You go into, let's say you witness this total eclipse and all kinds of weird stuff happen, earthquakes, people start acting crazy, people start stocking food and hoarding, and crime goes up. I mean, you have to be aware that something is definitely not right. Mm-hmm. It'd be scary times.
Right.
It'd be scary times if you don't have any frame of reference as to why people are going crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Because at some point, I don't know.
I mean, if you were a devout atheist and all that happened...
Yeah, you'd think it's chaos, but the world thrives on chaos.
Would you say earthquakes happened, plate tectonics, eclipses happened because of science?
But if you see bad things happen, like let's say you have like this domino effect, I mean, you'd be just traumatized because you'd be like, well, crap, we're living in really bleak times. Like this young generation who feels like they're living in bleak times. Everything
that they say was going to happen happened. Mm-hmm. So what does that put in my mind? I mean, I don't know. Different strokes for different folks.
Well, but just, avoid Florida, man. I mean, don't go to Florida.
Oh, my God. I know, right?
Don't be in Florida. You hear all kinds of crazy stuff. People eating people.
Dude, right?
Did you see that homeless guy carrying a leg that was on a feed? It was in
Florida. What was that about?
I don't know, dude. People are on drugs. I don't know what drugs people are
taking. Were they doing bath salts again?
I don't know. Did it make a comeback? People are acting like zombies again.
Do you remember that whole thing about the bath salts? People that were on eating, were they like eating them or something? Bath salts?
And then they were like
eating other people's faces and all that?
I think it's coming back. So, I mean...
Wow.
Scary times. Don't go to Florida.
I mean, okay. If I were trying to leave people with a message on this, I would definitely say reflect on it. Don't dismiss it.
Well, come to your own conclusions as
well. Come to your own conclusions. Yeah. If you're on the border about about God and where you are, in terms of like a Christian or a Hebrew God, I mean, definitely reflect on it. You know what I mean? And maybe that's the best thing. Reflect and meditate on it.
Yeah.
And see how it moves you.
Yeah.
And if you feel like everything that happens, if it happens the way that everybody says it's going to happen, and you feel like it moves you, then think about that relationship with your God that you believe in, and don't be afraid to go with what you feel inside.
Yeah, that's true. Stick with your instinct.
There we go. Maybe that might be the good message. If you're devout Jewish, you're devout Catholic, and you see all this unfolding, and it unfolds the way that people say it's going to happen, or like it doesn't say like specifically the Bible, but if it happens the way that we're like it's kind of coming across, then really take that to heart and take the time to pray and to repent, and but we're all individuals. We all have it all hits us differently.
That's true.
I'll tell you what, if it does happen that way, I think like I said, I already feel like I'm a pretty religious Catholic guy, but if everything happens that way, I will go over the deep end. Like that would probably be enough to like to be
Yeah.
like, okay, this is real. Because there's like I said, I don't believe in coincidences, but there are too many coincidental events that are lining up for you to be like, no, this
Yeah,
this
if
is
it's
fake.
all, yeah, I know. I think you'd have to kind of open up your eyes and go with
Yeah.
what's being laid out in front of you. Interesting times, though. Strange.
It's all like I say, you missed a lot, right? But everything
I
from
did.
like the red heifers, the temple, now the eclipses. What does this all mean? Like, and then think about this. In 1811, the United States population, I don't know what the population of the United States is, was but let me
Compared to where we're at today?
yeah, let's look at the United States population, if I can text population, and we said the year was 1811.
Yes, 1811.
What was the population? Okay, 1810. The population of the United States. Any guesses? Do you know what the population of the United States is now?
I don't even know now.
We've talked about this in past episodes. The population of the United States right now is 300 million. We're like the fourth largest country in the world, population-wise. Third or fourth. Like Russia's population is not. Let me just give you an idea. Russia's a big country, right? Land-wise, the population of Russia is 90 million. We are 300 million.
But a lot of Russia's land can be used because it's just
Right,
too
but
barren and cold.
population-wise, though, they're only 90 million. We're 300 million. Our population right now. So in
Where were we in 2020 before COVID?
1810, which is 100, 200 years ago, our population was 7 million people.
7 million.
So the new Madrid earthquake, 7 million, which we have New York City's probably, what? I don't know what the population of New York City is.
New York City's ridiculously
just to-
populated.
Just to give you an idea, New York population in 2021 was 8 million. So in 2021, New York had more people than the entire population of the United States in 1810, 1811. So the largest earthquake in United States history, 7 million people across the United States. It didn't. I mean, it impacted the people at the time. There was a lot of people. You know what I mean. But imagine the United States today of 300 million people in a massive new Madrid earthquake. Now, how would that affect the United States? I mean, you're talking about like 9/11 style catastrophe where the United States would just come to a halt because so many people would be affected.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah, you think about like
in the heart
and you
of the
think
United
about
States.
like where like depending on where these earthquakes would be at, like are they going to be?
We
I
said
mean, you never really know.
Illinois, you got Chicago, Arkansas. Oh
So
God,
would you think that they would hit cities that are in the path of the total solar eclipse?
what states did we say the
Texas.
No, the New Madrid Fault. It was in what did we say? Tennessee, Arkansas.
Yes.
I don't close my windows or my windows on my phone. Or maybe I did. But you think about the states. Let's see, New Madrid Fault. How do you spell fault? And states. Okay, I remember. Okay, Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Illinois. That's 5 states. And then in Illinois, I don't know like how far in Illinois it goes, but you have Chicago in Illinois. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the other big cities in the other states are, but the impact on those states, population-wise, everything going on, it could be huge.
How wild!
It would affect a lot of people. So I don't know, just something to think about, right? Something to reflect on, something to think about. Not that we're trying to put like scare into people or anything like that, but it's
Well, I mean, people, do believe this. There's people out there who are
yeah.
And, at best, nothing happens.
At best, and God willing, at best, nothing happens, right?
Your keyboard really is stuck, isn't it?
It is. It doesn't like me. I've been fired. You know what? I did a podcast like 2 or 3 podcasts back, and I was still having trouble with my keyboard.
Oh my god!
I know, my poor Surface. So I don't know. It was just something I just thought I would just throw that out there. It's a lot to take in.
Oh, it is a lot to take in.
And for your everyday American, like, what does it mean? And there's a lot of podcasts I listen to. There was I think the one that kind of got me started on it was there's a podcast called Butterflies Are Ninjas.
What the heck?
I know, right? Jeanette's like, that's a great name.
Butterflies and Ninjas. I mean, you just put all the things that you like together and just call it a podcast.
There's another channel. It was called Sling and Stones. Let's see here. I was just going through a lot of. That was okay. That one's the Butterflies Are Ninjas.
You mean if they like go into a battle together, like who's gonna win, a butterfly or a ninja?
No. You put it together. That Butterflies Are Ninjas.
Or butterflies are ninjas.
Yeah. So what was this one? There was like a number of podcasts that I went into. This one is the Steve Kio Calanti and Discovery. That was Oops, let me pause that.
I think I have my next one. Cats Are Assassins.
That would have. You know what? I'm going to put in parentheses after our podcast name. Cats Are Assassins.
Cats Are Assassins.
This one is called Passion for Truth Ministry. So 2 of them were like Christian ministries, and 2 of them were podcasts. That kind of got me down the path. Yeah. Oh. You know what? You make your own decision, everybody. You know, I would say have a drink, talk to your friends, figure out what it means to you all.
I like it.
Kind of like
mind blowing.
Kind of like okay, we're talking about like repenting and all that stuff, and where we are as a nation and all that. There's a podcast I listen to called At Whatever. At Whatever? Like the ampersand.
Oh, okay.
At Whatever. And there's a guy who let me see here if I can pull it up. He's the host, and he interviews a lot of girls that are like let me pull this up. Brian Atlas, is that his name?
And he interviews girls that are what?
Like OnlyFans girls.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of girls that do like OnlyFans and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
so what's the premise? Like, what does he want to understand?
Like, okay, you're an OnlyFans girl. Okay. So, your reasons for doing this, your age, your name, like, say you decide to do OnlyFans.
What motivates me?
What motivates you? What is it going to do for you in terms of relationships, getting married?
Cats are expensive, and I have cat mouths to feed.
It is really interesting listening to his podcast.
So, what do these girls? I mean, there has to be like a common thread. There must be something he's trying to get at. They
talk about like, there is a kind of a common thread. Like these women that do OnlyFans, they're talking about being independent, making money.
Okay.
That doing porn on OnlyFans, because porn.
Well, you can be independent. And make money by not doing porn too.
But these are specifically on OnlyFans.
For porn stars?
And they make a lot. These girls make a lot of money on OnlyFans.
Oh, wow.
A lot of money.
What is the suicide rate for ladies who...
I don't know.
Because you always see like on the news like where porn stars are killing themselves.
Has OnlyFans been around long enough for there to be statistics? Maybe not, because it just started during COVID.
Yeah.
But so he's interviewing these girls, and these girls are very proud because they're making money, they're doing well, they feel independent, they feel like they're feminist, and he's like, yeah, but they feel like they're breaking the barriers between male and female, the income level, and all this stuff. And
it's kind of fascinating, but I don't agree with it. But it's fascinating to think that.
And he's talking about like, well, what glass ceiling exists now in terms of income? Women have great jobs now.
Yeah,
they make good money. He says
there's a lot of women in leadership roles.
There's a lot of women
in corporate positions. And
look at you. You're doing very well yourself. Yeah. And he talks about that women. There's a lot. He goes, yeah, like some men still make more money than women, but they do dangerous jobs. They do like the jobs that the women don't want, like the garbage man, the guys that work in the sewer companies.
Yeah.
Like, so he talks about men do a lot of jobs that women don't do. That there is equality now.
I also think that too. I think that probably what issue I have, because it's my own barrier why I can't agree with these girls, and it's not like a good or a bad thing, but also realizing that there's a shift in relationships. There's a shift in how people perceive marriage. There's a shift in being platonic. There's a shift in these are not boomers. Does
being
like people have a different mindset when it comes down to long-term relationships in marriage. And I don't know if that's true. I mean, that might be a generalization right there.
So, but doing pornography on the internet for money.
Yeah.
Does that make you a high-value woman in terms of like relationships and marriage and all that?
I think that I'm all for women doing what they want to do, but I don't know if I would call that high value. But that's just me. Yeah. I mean, someone can come up and be like, that's not fair, and that's your opinion. I'm entitled to mine, but I just don't think that people understand the mental anxiety that they're going to have later. And, I don't think people understand the long-term...
Or if you have children.
Yeah, mental health you're going to go through later. I don't know if...
Like, what if you have children and they grow up and them and their friends know about what you do for a living?
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I just think that it's not worth the mental anguish you're going to have later. Because now, it might be fun and games. They're young. They're feeling great. So and maybe they feel
let's put it this way. If you're on OnlyFans,
Yeah.
And every month you're making $50,000.
I guess I'm getting paid to just shut up. I'm just kidding.
But if you were making like most people make, they probably right around the $50,000 a year. But if you were doing that a month on OnlyFans,
but is it worth? I don't know. Maybe some people, like I say, would argue. I don't know. I really don't know. I just know that.
And if you wanted to be married and have kids.
But if you're going down that path of being, I mean, a part of your success being an OnlyFans girl is going to be people wanting to see your material and people liking you and people like placing your value on how much they like your content.
Yeah.
But what happens when like you're not being liked anymore? What happens to you mentally when you get older and you're just not as pretty or just, you know what I'm saying? And it seems like you're putting your worth on people's opinions, but what is it? I mean, not like down the road when things aren't working out, like how are you going to be able to look at yourself?
Let me ask you
how
this.
do you live life?
So, OnlyFans.
Yeah.
How is it impacting the woman's psyche? Like, what is it doing? Like, is it positive? Is it negative? Is like just throwing it out there, just spitballing. Like,
and I'm thinking not in the terms of sex at this point. Okay, so the way I'm looking at it is like, it's the business that you're doing. It's based on people liking you, your content, whatever you're doing, whatever you're showing.
Of course, yeah.
I just think that when the show is over and you're just there and you're just not bringing in what you used to, mind you, you'll probably be happy in your house and whatnot, but that's the result of all of that. I just think that if you don't have a good healthcare professional, someone who you're talking to on a daily basis or some sort of therapist, like I don't know what it's going to do to you mentally 20 years down the road.
When you're
30, when you're slowing 40, down.
When you're 50.
Maybe you've gone through relationships or maybe you find yourself in a relationship where they accept it. But I really don't know. I just think that, I don't know. I really don't know. It's interesting to see what's going to happen.
Do you think guys are accepting of it? So
no.
If they met a beautiful woman.
I think they would like it for a while because they think it's cool to date a porn star or a stripper. It's kind of like guys in their 20s. I'm sure it's like in college.
My girlfriend's a stripper.
Yeah, because you know that, guys are like, oh, dude, she must be so pretty, or man, she must be like bomb, bomb ass. And then later on, your girl's a stripper. She's banging dudes at your party because guess what? Or maybe she's a porn star. Dude, hey, guess what? That's when the part I think is like, oh, suck.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the reality. You already knew that. You can't be surprised.
Right, yeah.
Like you just can't be surprised.
Like how?
Like, oh, crap.
And, okay, just throwing it out there. What's it doing to our society, American society?
Yeah.
Maybe many countries across the world where OnlyFans is big. What is it doing to your social fabric of your society when women are doing this as their primary source of income or their jam?
Well, then also think about it. It's kind of like almost giving permission. I mean, okay, so you have this is legal, you're getting paid for it. You feel in control of your OnlyFans page, right?
Yeah.
But what is it also saying about women in general being expendable? What about all of those people who get like sex trafficked? I mean, what is it saying? What sort of message is it saying? I just don't know. I don't know if it's even worth what could potentially happen to women.
And because it's so new, okay, so like the porn industry.
Yeah.
Generally, a small population of people, right? Mm-hmm. Like, think about, if you think about pornography through the years, small percentage of people get into pornography, or maybe a girl did it that one time or something like that. Whether it was you accessed it online or VHF or something like that.
Yeah.
But now it's like you have the ability to make your own page, and you have the ability to.
Do you just become desensitized after a while and can't form healthy relationships?
I don't know.
It's so weird, right? Like I just think about the long-term effects of your mental health.
Yeah.
That's what I think about. I mean, forget what they're doing. I just think about like what people don't understand is going to happen long term. What could potentially happen to women's rights? What could potentially happen to the way we're being seen? Right. And that just to me is like, it's dangerous. Like what the hell were all our mothers and grandmothers doing for us if this is what we're going to do with it?
And the message coming across that we can be wildly successful and independent if we do this. If we do this.
I know. And that just, to me, it's like, I don't know. It just feels like you go backwards in a weird way. I don't think the people who fought for women's rights intended for this to happen.
Yeah,
I don't know,
that's
dude.
a really
it
good
just
point,
really sucks.
Like,
I just think we should be doing better.
I think like the suffrage movement. And the suffrage movement was really, a lot of it was based on states where women can own land and the right to vote. Those two things.
Yeah.
And but during the suffrage movement about giving equal rights to women, there was not this drawing women away from their relationship with men.
And also, like, because women were being beaten and they were being mistreated.
That went all the way through the 70s and 80s. But
men were coming down, and then they had
your general nuclear family was about, the wife being at home, being the caretaker, raising the kids, supporting the husband.
I want to try something different. I love the margarita.
Uh-huh.
But I'm gonna put a little bit of beer in this.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. Let's lighten it up a little.
Yeah, there we go. I like it.
You want to try it?
No. I like the tequila. It's kind of like an interesting thing to think about that, though, right? Like how all that impacts our society nowadays.
It is kind of weird, yeah.
Like, what does it mean nowadays?
So what do these girls say? I mean, I'm kind of curious. I'm going to have to watch this.
It's called At Whatever Podcast.
And I would never be a hater about it. I'm just kind of curious.
Oh.
A
lot of it, like a lot of young girls that are doing it.
Yeah.
They're talking about the freedom, the independence, being feminist.
Is it feminism though? I don't think.
But that's one of the things they talk about, that they don't need a man.
Okay.
They don't need the patriarchy. They don't need any of that. And they can make their own money,
Well,
but it's all through OnlyFans, and it's all through, you know.
Yeah, you can make your own money. You don't have to do OnlyFans. It's so funny.
And
I mean, yes, go girl, make some money, but really? Okay. But okay.
it's kind of
I mean, it's your choice. It's your life. Interesting.
okay. Like just a straight up question.
Yeah.
OnlyFans, is it good or bad for society as a whole? Like,
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know.
like
And let me
talk
tell
about
you,
asking the question
like,
for
I
society
don't
as a
really
whole,
know.
good or bad.
I don't really know because not that I just don't like the idea of people not being able to do what they want to do if that's their jam.
Right.
I don't like even though I don't necessarily agree with it, but when you start to censor things, that to me also kind
Right.
of makes me mad too.
Right.
So
United
I don't
States,
know.
that's
Either
what.
you either you choose to watch it or you don't. But I just don't know, honestly.
Like that's one of our fundamental principles of the United States: freedom of speech.
Yes, and you may not agree with it. I
Right.
don't agree with it.
Absolutely.
But do I want to go on this thing where I'm going to shut it down? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Right. So I don't know.
Unless these girls, I mean, there has to be something like in Amsterdam or where you have prostitution in other places. I mean, is there something that can be like help the girls, or I don't know. I mean, I really don't know, dude.
I don't know. And
But you're opening up my mind because I really don't know. I don't have a good answer.
I don't either. I don't know either. Like I've tried to.
If it was my
think
daughter,
about
I'd
that.
wring her neck.
Like, well, and some of the arguments behind like OnlyFans is a feminist movement when they talk about people that are like, you know, these women that go on there and say like, well, you know, we're feminist and this is women's right, we're making our own money and all that. And some of their guests they have on there that go on, it's like, yeah, but feminism was about equality and our rights, not having to go
And
to
take
this
off your
extent
clothes.
and give up this much to make a living, to be successful.
I don't like the idea of it, but I worry about our future.
Yeah.
As a whole, I don't like the fact that these girls are making it easy.
It's too easy.
For just men to have zero respect for women. It's
Right.
just, and that can be dangerous. I mean, I don't know.
But I think the allure of the money is too easy also.
Yeah. And it's not going to stop, you know. Obviously, sex sells. There's a lot of things
Right.
in society that's always going to sell. Sex,
What
booze.
what are the two things that they say always existed? One was prostitution and the other was something else.
What is it, like alcohol,
I don't know, like there's
liquor,
like the oldest profession in the world is prostitution or something like that.
and tobacco?
And tobacco. And, well, no.
No?
Where did tobacco come from?
Well, it didn't come here?
It came from the United States.
Did it come from the
It
United
was from the
States?
Native Americans.
I thought it came from Mexico.
No, it came from here. And then
Oh, wait, we are Mexico.
Jeanette, let's not have this argument.
I'm just kidding.
Oh no, we are New Mexico. I thought you said we are Mexico.
Well, we were Mexico. But now we're New Mexico.
We're New Mexico.
We're New Mexico.
The new and improved version.
It's the new improved. So is California, and so is Texas.
Yeah, tobacco came from the United States when the Europeans came to the New World.
Oh man,
They didn't bring tobacco here. Tobacco was already here.
If it wasn't tobacco, what do you think it is? Prostitution has to be up there. I'm telling you.
Well,
liquor
that's the thing.
And alcohol.
That's the thing.
Alcohol,
the
liquor,
oldest
beer.
profession is prostitution. Okay.
We digress.
Okay, we digress. But
We digress.
I want to go down the rabbit hole a little bit more on this.
Okay.
I sent you something the other day. Do you remember what I sent you the other day?
You send me a lot of stuff.
I sent you a lot of shenanigans.
I know.
But and I'm gonna pull it up real fast just so I'm aware if I can remember it. But we have so many text messages, it's hard for me to find it. But the epidemic of throat cancer
Oh,
in the world.
sex sells. Okay, so is that
No,
what
no,
you're
no.
saying?
So apparently, like, throat cancer is like at an epidemic level right now.
Oh, so are you saying that? Okay, so I'm just
Okay,
just
okay.
being silly.
So, and the numbers don't sound big, but compared to what they were, they're big. So throat cancer is at epidemic levels. 2.8% of all men are getting throat cancer.
Yes.
1.3% of women are getting throat cancer.
Yes, because of dun dun dun. Say
Dun
it.
dun dun. No, go right ahead.
Really?
Yeah, go right ahead. What is it? What are they getting throat cancer from?
From oral sex. Boom.
Who's married to Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Oh, you're talking about Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Same thing right there.
So, wow.
And that it blew my mind that the number for men is higher than women.
Wasn't Val Kilmer also had throat
Yeah,
cancer?
he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
So how crazy it is that more men are getting throat cancer than women due to oral sex as related to HPV.
Yes.
I
Mind blown.
mind was blown. Yeah, mind was blown. Like, yeah, like I don't even know where to go with that. Like, yeah.
Well, I think we
Good job, boys. I don't know.
I mean, then it's kind of like, I mean, on the other end, I mean, we joked about it privately about like, I just thought, wow, women really aren't like putting a lot of effort, are they? We had that conversation.
Yeah, that was our
like,
conversation.
wow.
Men are doing all the effort and getting throat cancer.
I know. I mean, you think that? I don't know. I mean, it's on TV. Like, I
Like,
guess they're
good
making,
job, men.
I guess. Yes.
But I guess I never thought about that. So like, if you're fooling around with a woman and you're going down on each other, just call it what it is. You're going down on each other,
Going down
whatever.
on each other.
But more men are getting throat cancer than women.
Just more men are willing to go down.
This was in the Daily Wire, but that was a correlation to it.
How weird.
Would you have ever thought about that?
No,
Like, is that,
honestly, I didn't think. I thought, we just said prostitution was probably a big business. So,
wow.
are there a lot of male prostitutes now?
I don't know.
That's
You
interesting.
know what, Jeanette?
What?
I need to call times out for restroom break.
I
Time
think-
out.
Time out. I think that's a good idea.
Jeanette.
Yes.
Game on.
Game on.
Game on. Okay.
There's that cord.
So I don't know. That was going down like just kind of off a tangent there.
Yeah, and I think ultimately for me, maybe my whole thing, and maybe I just don't agree with it, but also I don't agree with the reason because of
Money.
being a feminist and you want to be independent. To me, there's other ways to do it. You don't have to. It's not the main reason.
Contributing
That's
to
not the
society. And,
like. There's a lot more things. But
yeah.
The reasons I can't. I mean, just say what it is. I mean, you make money, but don't under the premise of I'm a feminist. It's like stop it.
Yeah.
Just stop it.
You know,
Like don't lie to yourself and don't lie to. It's just I don't know. I don't agree with that.
it's kind of a weird conversation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just kind of interesting. And probably the only other segue, or the only thing I was kind of keeping up with this week. I feel like there's so many things I was trying to keep up with, but I didn't write it all down. I don't have my notebook with me right now because there's so many things going. There's just like so much going on in the world. How do you keep up with it all? Right?
You can't.
You can't. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh yeah.
He is not endorsing Biden this presidential cycle. Made a big to-do about it in the news.
Really?
Made a big to-do with interview and everything, public, like a release and everything.
Why?
Because he endorsed Biden in the first presidential election.
Ah, so he's not going to endorse Biden for the second one.
Right.
Weird.
Any predictions on the current presidential election this year?
Biden's not going to get it.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. It is a mess. No one in their right mind's going to vote for him.
Like, everything's related to the way they name it. The Biden invasion. Do you know what the Biden invasion is?
I don't know, but our economy is shit.
The Biden invasion is immigration right now. Biden economics, Bidenomics, or however they call it. Like, things are kind of bad right now.
They really are kind of bad right now, and I think that people feel the squeeze. And I think because now everyone feels a squeeze on it, no one's going to vote for him. I know I wouldn't. I'm not. I normally don't even like to talk about politics.
I have a colleague that I'm good friends with, and I talk to, and she was telling me, she's telling me, I make more money now, and I'm more successful now than I was 3, 4, 5 years ago at least. Now, like, good for you.
Yeah.
Good job. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that.
But
she says, like, I feel like I have less money now because everything is so expensive.
I completely agree.
Completely agree. Like, when was groceries $100 a bag? Ever? Like, it's been like 3 or 4 years ago that when I was buying groceries, it was like $40 a bag or
Honestly,
$30 a bag.
I think right now, to be honest with you, those food services like Factor and HelloFresh actually comes out cheaper than buying groceries. Where before, honestly, I was looking at the pricing.
Yeah,
they're not that pricey. Like,
dude, or
I'm kind of curious about it now.
Have you heard about California minimum wage?
No. Is it what? No.
It's like $20-something minimum wage in California.
27?
20-something.
Oh, I was gonna say
like,
27. That's not gonna do anything for.
Like, let me look this up. Minimum wage in California, 2024.
Like rent like $2,000 for like a 1-bedroom.
Okay, I'm sorry, not 20. California minimum wage is $16 per person now.
Oh, that's still not
the highest in the country. Yeah,
but think about the cost of California. It's still not worth it. People still are not making it.
But I mean, initially, it's kind of a weird thing to say, but like initially, it was just the people that couldn't make it. But now companies can't make it. Like fast food joints, like the cost of hamburgers. Oh, okay. And this is just here in New Mexico. I went to Carl's Jr. and I bought 2 burgers, the burgers, fry, and drink.
Did you pay over $20?
Yes, $23.
Yeah. What happened to the brown bag special from like Sonic?
The dollar menu for McDonald's.
I know.
The dollar menu is no longer $1; it's like $5.
Yeah.
Now imagine in California where minimum wage isn't like $10 or $12; it's $16. What's that going to do to the cost of everything? And look, people definitely should earn a livable wage. People should be able to provide for the families and all them. But mandating a higher minimum wage,
it only increases the cost of living in the area. Yeah. And right now, I know we feel it in New Mexico because Cruces has never really been a very expensive place to live in. But just being a renter, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, my rent's like at least over $1,000, and this isn't even compared to other places. That's a cheaper, and that's the cheapest.
An apartment.
Well, not the cheapest, but it's like it's on the cheaper end from when I was looking.
God.
Groceries is expensive. Everything's expensive, and you can make.
It's nuts right now. I don't know what to kind of don't know what to make of it all.
And that's the thing, though. Like, as successful as the jobs that we have, we should be like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like we don't suffer, which is great. Right. But where is all of that extra income going? It's going on cost of living for me. I have money in savings, and that's just because they'd be stupid not to. You can't. You have to have money for a rainy day.
I wonder what people are going through in big cities, expensive cities.
Can you imagine? I think maybe I don't know. It just makes me want to get a roommate now.
And you think about people that are working, they want to retire when they're 64, 65, age of retirement, medical expenses. Your one medical expense for being broke.
Oh yeah. I know. Isn't that crazy, huh?
It's not. I just can't believe it, and I feel bad for people right now. And I don't know what the solution is, but this path that we're going down right now.
Hey, let's go buy some land and let people put their little tiny houses. We'll do a tiny
I know,
house
right?
community.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like people can like have affordable housing.
I don't know. It's something like that, right? Because I just don't know. I don't know what's going on right
That's
now.
why
Like,
the tiny house movement is actually becoming one of those things people think about now.
they're downsizing because it's too expensive to have everything. Like to have a big house and have all this stuff, and it's just easier to downsize. Like, yeah, like. So are you predicting Biden will be the next president?
No,
Yeah.
I think that even because I'm registered Democrat, no.
I've talked to a lot of people that
And
are
it's-
registered Democrats, and that's the consensus I'm getting, and I've looked at stuff online about, like there's the nominees, like you have Trump and Biden and Kennedy, and people go like either to like support them or protest them. It's curious. A lot of people protesting Biden are Democrats.
Yeah, I just don't think that. I don't think he should be president. Let the poor guy he needs to just stop.
It's
Just let it go. Go do something else. You were not effective.
there's this big push to go like the electric vehicles, and I think electric vehicles is great. I mean, is it the answer? Do you remember that time we were talking about like energy?
Yeah.
We were in here and we're talking about like electric vehicles and gas and all that stuff, and I'm like, I don't think the going electric right now is the way to go, because it's like I always feel like the great next energy hasn't been discovered yet to get us off fossil fuels.
Yeah.
But going straight electricity, like our solar cells, the wind farms, they don't produce the capacity of what we need.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's great. I think going green, and I think the Earth is probably at a better point now than it ever has been. But I think there's the next leap in the great energy, like Star Trek.
I'm thinking about Earth being as great as it is. I'm like thinking, freaking Las Cruces, we have like super pollen now. Like super pollen. And
I know, right?
like,
We're the
it's
big
defending
big
itself.
filters outside, taking the pollen out of the air, like helping us with our allergies.
It's kind of created a super pollen out there.
But people like when you think about Star Trek and future technology, the communicators, the transporters, and all that, they had this warp drive, and the warp drive had this like the warp core that created the energy for the ship.
Yeah.
Where are we on that timeline of where we come up with this next great technology
To get us to warp speed.
Yeah, to get us warp speed, create electricity, like get us off of fossil fuels. Like, where are we at that timeline? Like, when is that next technology going to be discovered, invented? Teleportation, right? I always wonder about that.
I mean, because think about it. Like,
Yeah.
you won't ever have to drive.
Dude.
Just teleport yourself to work.
So would that mean the automobile lobbyist would lobby for laws to outlaw teleportation as dangerous because they don't want to destroy the automobile market?
No, Ferrari's going to come up with their own teleport.
The Ferrari teleport. We teleport faster.
No, that's where they need to put their money at.
I know, right? Like,
I was like, no, it's all done by Ferrari and
dude. Okay, I there's one more podcast or YouTube channel I've got to give a shout out to.
all right.
It's cool, and
Is it cool to give shout outs or that is the site?
I know, right?
I'm not sure. What is it?
So there's a podcast it's like a podcast or YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I watch, and it's interesting.
And it's called...
That is Impossible.
Oh, that is impossible.
Yeah, is it called the Impossible Channel, or is it just called That Is Impossible? Yeah, it's called That Is Impossible. And so I went back on his videos, and he used to do like a lot of videos of himself, like he's talking about like how beaches are disappearing, and he's like talking about now he does this thing where he makes a channel where he's narrating them. And it's kind of cool because he talks about weird stuff in the world.
Oh, like what sorts of stuff?
Like glitch in the matrix, conspiracy
Oh, yeah.
theory. But what he does is he looks for crazy videos online. And he says, like, this person captured a video of a UFO. And he says, I think it's completely plausible that this could be real because the way that they are reacting in the background and the fact that this person and this person and this person got the same video from different places, but they recorded the same thing.
It's like that one show that I like to watch, Paranormal Caught on Camera.
Yeah, something like that,
Okay.
right? Yeah, something like that. And so, yeah, exactly like that, I guess. And it's like it's like a bunch of stuff. It's like paranormal, UFO, Bigfoot, and he pulls a compilation of videos that people upload.
Oh.
And he'll be like, this person uploaded this video and got a lot of hits and a lot of responses, and he plays it and he replays it and he goes, the video's pretty clear. You make your own decisions. But this kind of seems kind of real and it's kind of weird. Like,
Yeah.
I've kind of been digging this stuff lately. Like, it's,
Once you go down that road, I'm sure it is interesting. That stuff is interesting.
there's been times like they talk about like ghosts and stuff like that, and I'll be like here at home late at night, and I get all like spooked out about like.
I can't. There's certain things I get spooked out on. That's why I like to watch that Paranormal Caught on Camera. But I like it too, just because it's kind of stupid. Because some of the explanations, some of their professionals, I love the way like, well, I don't know, that is a dark entity because
That is a humdinger.
I know that they're like, that's a dark entity because like they'll talk about something that's just so freaking ridiculous. Like,
And don't you want to say like, you don't know, dude? Just stop
yeah,
it.
like
You
the
don't know.
dark entities normally will do this and this. I'm like, you have no
You
idea
don't
what the
know.
motivation is of a dark
Yeah.
entity.
It's
Like,
like-
did you have a conversation
It's
with
like,
them?
you know what? He's right. A dark entity would say that.
Would say that. A dark entity would tease you and before
my God.
insulting your mother.
It's like,
What the hell?
did you take Dark Entities 101 at the local
This isn't common knowledge.
at the local branch college,
Like dark
junior
entities
college?
like to linger under the bed. How do you know?
I like the formats where somebody like looks at something, and they know they're not the professional. They know that they don't. They know what they don't know. They know that they don't know anything about it, but at the same time that they're skeptical about it. But at the same time, they're like, this looks pretty legit too. So they kind of like leave it open to the
Yeah.
possibility at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
I
can appreciate
I
that.
can appreciate that too, because the other one is just purely for entertainment value.
Oh, I tell
Because
you.
I'm like, what the hell you're gonna?
Oh, it's like what was that one with Zach? What's his name? That paranormal series?
Oh, which is it? That kid who's a psychic?
No,
Or
no,
which
no,
one?
no. He'd go with his friends and Zach something, and every time they go into the building, right before they go to commercial, he'd be like, "Oh my God, what was that?" Or like, "Oh
Ghost
my God."
Hunters?
Was it Ghost Hunters?
Was it Ghost Hunter? Because
Like,
it's
yeah.
like dun dun dun, and all of a sudden it was like you come back and it's like a pencil that dropped and it freaked them
It's like-
all out.
So after we all got spooked out and analyzing video, we realized that the pencil that was laying on my ear fell down, and we realized it wasn't a ghost throwing rocks at us at all. Like,
They're freaking themselves out. Oh my God, there should be a movie on that. In reality, it'd be like a Ghost Hunters movie.
Yeah,
and
right.
it's like they're like serious ghost hunters, but what like, it'd be funny because the premise would be they go out and then they're creating all of this chaos, and they're like, it's ghosts.
oh my God, oh my God.
Did you hear those footsteps?
It's like, what was that? Oh, sorry, dude. I stepped on a twig walking behind you. Like, oh. No, this one called The Impossible Channel. It's kind of cool. And his early stuff was about beaches. Okay,
Beaches.
here's something that's interesting. And this really caught my attention.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to like get comfortable here real fast. So, what's something that's in high demand, but there's not a lot of it?
Money.
No, not
just
much.
kidding. I'm just
Like a natural resource we use every day right now for like the creation of the current world that we're in, buildings and all that stuff.
That is a need.
Yeah, that we need, like wood for houses, for timber and all that.
Yeah.
What's something like that?
Would it be like a
commodity?
stone?
Almost.
Would it be like, I don't know. What do we need? I mean, do we need diamonds?
No,
Do we
not
need
diamond.
emeralds? Do we need moon rocks? I mean,
Like, right?
like what the hell?
So let me look this up real
What do
fast
you
because
mean?
I saw a documentary
Coal?
on this. And I didn't realize it was a big deal. And the more
Copper?
the more I looked into it, the more it kind of like tripped me out. And then like I got into this guy's channel and he went to like the beaches and all that stuff. And I was like, what the heck? It's like a commodity that we're in short supply of, but there's mega high demand for it. Sand.
Sand? I didn't. Oh, for glass
For
and
cement.
for cement.
For cement.
Well, it
Think
sounds-
about that.
Huh.
Like sand. You don't think about it, right?
I never would have thought of sand because I
So-
think that in my brain it's like so much of it elsewhere, somewhere.
And I don't know how to compare this to, like, to give you an idea of what it is. But consumption of industrial sand and gravel in the U.S. from, where was that one? In 2023, there was a total of 120 million metric tons of sand and gravel consumed in the United States for industrial purposes. That year, about 5.7 billion U.S. dollars worth of industrial sand and gravel was produced by 122 different companies operating in 32 different states. $5.7 billion in 2023 on sand.
Wow.
Because, okay, you make cement. You
Yeah.
need cement for foundations for buildings.
Yeah.
Like interstates, the foundation cement. And then you put asphalt on top of it. Big building cement. Dams across the country. You go to Mexico, we talk about like the way buildings are built with cement.
I didn't realize
So,
that is.
When you make cement, you buy a
Yeah.
bag of Portland cement. You put it in a bucket, a wheelbarrow, and all that stuff. And you put it like in your wheelbarrow, your mixer, but you have to mix it with sand. You need the sand to create the end product cement that you pour and it gets hard.
Yeah.
So you have Portland cement, sand, and water. So there is a short supply of sand, and it's in high demand worldwide.
Oh wow.
Like you talk about China,
It's not like it's something you can grow. It's just once you're out, you're out.
yeah.
How crazy!
And so-
Unless you start going under and start excavating from the ocean.
Bingo. That's where
That's
I was going.
exactly where it's all at. You just have
So-
to be smart about it.
Well, okay. Let's look at Saudi Arabia. They're building that one city, the wall. But they can't use desert sand for cement.
Why?
Desert sand is not ideal for cement because the wind blows it, the sand on land,
Yeah.
and it erodes it. So, like,
Is it 'cause finer?
think about sand. Sand like little pebbles, little tiny pebbles.
Yeah,
right?
it's really grainy.
Right. So when the wind blows it, it erodes it, kind of like sanding it down.
Yeah.
So the pebbles in sand in the desert are very round.
So they're very tiny. It's not abrasive enough.
It's not abrasive enough. It doesn't matter that it's tiny, but it's not abrasive enough to bind to Portland cement.
Yeah.
It's too smooth. So Saudi Arabia, big desert, can't use the sand for cement because it's
And
not
I
the
was
right
thinking that
kind.
too. Yeah. Oh wow.
So, okay, so this guy and this guy that is on this one YouTube channel, that is impossible. Some of the first videos were on this after I saw the documentary,
Either you create something like that, or you get it from the ocean.
the documentary
Documentary.
on sand. It was on Netflix, and it kind of tripped me out because I came across this documentary on sand. It's called The Sand Wars, and is it called Sand Wars?
The Sand Wars.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Sand Wars.
I'd watch that.
It's an investigation in the most consumed natural resource on the planet.
I'd watch that.
And I didn't think I came across it by accident.
Yeah.
It was just like one of the things like the hell am I going to watch? I'm doing deliveries. What am I going to watch?
Yeah.
Sand Wars. All right, let me put it on. See what it's about. It's about the demand of sand,
For sand.
as a building material for everything. Like I say, did you know sand concrete was used on highways?
I didn't know that.
And they pour a big base layer.
Yeah.
So like on interstates have a big base layer. Then they put the asphalt above.
Because that's all you see is the black stuff.
Right, but below on interstates, because interstates have tanneral weight. Airports, the landing strips have to be made of cement. Dams, buildings, foundations, just so many things are made of cement.
Wow.
Well, there's a high demand for sand because there's usable sand and unusable sand. Saudi Arabia built mega buildings. They built their islands with sand. You can't use you can only use a certain amount of terrain sand because the rest of it is not suitable for cement. And because of it, there's a high demand. So a lot of countries, they send, like companies will send barges out into the ocean to dredge the sand at the bottom of the ocean. And they, like a dredger comes in and sucks it up and it fills up a ship on like the storage portions of the ship.
Yeah.
And they bring it back to shore and it dries out. They take the water out, and then they bag it and they sell it, right?
Yeah.
So you have all this sand that is being sold for cement.
I'm sure the process is a lot more expensive to get, so I'm sure the cost of sand has gone up.
In the United States alone, 120 million metric tons. I don't even know what 120 million metric tons looks like. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't. 100 million 20 tons to pounds. That's, oh my God, that's like 120 metric tons is 264,554.715 pounds. I couldn't even tell you how many, like, metric tons to pound. I couldn't tell you what that would be.
Yeah.
Like, just to give you an idea, because it's so much sand. And so what was funny about this guy in this one channel, he goes to the beach and he says, people are saying the beaches are disappearing because of climate change, and the water levels are rising, so that's why the beaches are disappearing. But he said, he's going down to the beaches, and when he goes down to the beaches, he has this thing that shows altitude. He goes, we're at, our altitude, we're at 0. Like if the water level is rising, we'd be above 0. But we're not above 0. We're at 0 or below. So meaning the sand from the beaches is not being covered by water. It means the sand is going down. And he's saying, we're dredging so much sand from the ocean. Like, you ever dig a hole? You ever dig a hole?
So
and when you dig a hole out, what happens to the sand on the edges?
It goes down. The water goes down. So that's what they're saying, that the water levels are going to go down.
The water levels are staying the same, but because you're taking so much sand out from the ocean, the sand on the beaches are just sliding down. Like I say, think of like when you go to the beach, white sand or something like that. You dig a hole, and you can never get deep in the hole. Why? Because the sand on the edges keeps going in.
Yeah.
And no matter how much you dig, the sand keeps going in.
It's always going to go in.
And so the hole gets bigger because more and more sand keeps going in. Well, think about that on a bigger industrial level, like with the oceans and the beaches.
How weird.
And apparently it's a big problem. So Indonesia is in the Indochina, Asia Pacific, like, Vietnam and all that area. Indonesia is a country mainly of islands, and there's India out there. But he was saying, like, in Indonesia, because it's a nation of many islands, a number of islands have actually disappeared because the sand level goes so low that they just get covered with water.
How weird.
So the oceans, so they get this altimeter to show you like your altitude. He says if climate change was the issue and glaciers were melting,
so
the water would rise.
Our lands are going to disappear because we're digging from the bottom of the ocean.
And the sand from the beaches just kind of slide in.
So that means that eventually our land mass, how much area, square footage we have, it's going to get less and less throughout the years. We're going to be living in a water world.
And there's no legislation anywhere about protecting sand and like laws about sand and all that. But you have these massive tankers that go out into the ocean sucking up sand, and you have people that go off the beaches and like little private companies like in these third world countries where they go down and they bring up big old bags of sand and they try to because it sells. It's because it's sand. You don't have to grow it. You don't have to fertilize it.
You see, that's what women should be doing. Freaking OnlyFans.
I know, right? Sand's a huge market.
Go get yourself a barge and go get yourself a team.
Go get you some sand.
Go get you some sand. You got this.
Right. There's other things available out there, but
and it's money making. You got this.
I mean,
if you want to wear a bikini, that's on you. But still, you can.
And you can do it. But you can wear a bikini. But the deal is like it's sand. So because it's sand, you don't have to grow it. You don't have to raise it. You don't have to fertilize it. You don't have to nothing.
No, you just
all you have
get
to have a ship, a boat, or something. Go offshore a little ways, get sand, put it in a bag, and sell it.
Go get it. Go get the sand.
And it's creating these natural catastrophes.
Well, everything is going to. You have an overconsumption of something. You're gonna see the effects elsewhere.
Right.
I mean, there's always that cause and effect. You're always gonna see something happen as a result of something.
Yeah, absolutely. So the sand wars. Check it out.
Sand wars.
And it's not something you think about. Like
I never would have thought about that.
You can't use the sand from the desert because there's deserts all over the world. Big desert.
Unless you can figure out how to create
a cement that you can use that with.
You have to maybe create a different compound. You have to, whether it's with something that we have, dirt. But then again, you have everyone excavating all the dirt.
Is it a big enough of an issue to cause people to do that, though?
I don't know.
Did you hear about this before I mentioned it right now?
No, but could you use recycled glass?
Yes. Recycled glass is something that people are doing. Where does glass come from? Sand. So
recycle the glass.
There's people that actually try to create recycled glass to use the Louvre sand.
Yeah.
But it's not a big enough of an industry, and there's not enough glass being recycled to do that with yet.
Yeah, and if you try to recycle glass here in Cruces, it's not possible.
Yeah,
I used to want to, and you can't really find a recycled glass center here.
But sand. Like there's such a high demand for sand for the building of everything we're building worldwide.
Eureka! Let's go. Let's create the glass recycling industry here. Where is it going? Mind blown. We got this. We'll sell it.
That kind of blew my mind. That blew my mind. So you have people on all these different milk soapboxes. Trees, the forest, protect the forests, protect the rainforest, recycle plastic, the oceans, and all that. And now you add a whole new component on it. Sand. The beaches are disappearing, not because the ocean levels are going up, but because we're dredging so much sand out of the ocean, the levels of sand are going down.
That's wild.
That is wild.
I know.
Like,
look at your map.
I know, right? Then yeah.
That's the biggest it'll ever be.
So
it's gonna disappear.
I need to add new pins to the places I need to go.
Nice.
And this here is my dad's Marine Corps picture. You know.
Yeah.
So my father's deceased. My mother's like, "You want this?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it." And he's right here.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, right? Like, yeah. So he was 35. He was 22 years old in that picture. Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy to think. Like, that picture's been around since 1957. That's like over 50 years old.
1957.
Yeah. It's been around for like, this picture is like 60 years old. Hard to think like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of just like how many men in that picture are even still alive? Anyways, food for thought. Man, we were all over the place today.
I know.
Dude, like this whole red heifer.
We'll have to circle back.
Yeah.
In a few weeks to kind of figure out what
Jewish Passover's in April, so we have to see what goes on with the red heifer thing. You got the eclipse coming over on tomorrow. And as it relates to the new Madrid earthquake, that happened. The new Madrid earthquake happened 3 months after the eclipse of 1811 and the comet that they saw. And there was like a couple of earthquakes in that area at that time, where the eclipses crossed and made that X, which is going to happen again this year.
Yeah.
And then let's see here. God, we talked about so much.
We did.
The whole OnlyFans thing.
OnlyFans and
I don't know. Like, yeah, just I am curious about this red heifer thing, and I'm curious about this eclipse thing. If everything happens, like if everything happened the way people are predicted it to,
that's a strange idea.
Like if you find yourself like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, do I believe in God? Do I believe in Christianity? But everything happens the way people say it should happen. How would that impact you and your train of thought?
Well, maybe that's the question that we leave everyone with.
Yeah, right. So we'll probably have a podcast or two in the next couple of weeks. But like I say, the window is about 3 months' time. Passover for Israel, Jewish Passover is in April. Will they sacrifice the red heifers? Is that going on? Yeah, it's kind of a curious time.
It'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting.
We'll see.
Like remember this. Just remember this conversation, okay?
Well, it's recorded, so I don't think we can forget.
Yeah, just remember it.
Well, we can't forget it.
And anybody that's listening that made it this far with us, just keep that in mind and reflect on it. Let's see what happens in the next month or 2 or 3. Let's just see what happens. And if seeing is believing, what happens if you do see all this come into pass?
I think that would be definitely eye-opening. Don't disregard prophecy. Don't disregard religious prophecy, because something's happening. Especially
in the time of the age that we live in, the age of facts, science, testing, all that. You know what I mean? The Cartesian method, like the fact that we live in this era. If all this old stuff comes back up and it does come to pass, what does it mean to you?
Oh no, I'm definitely reading the Bible now.
I know, right? I'm sorry, Dad. You're right.
You're right.
I'm sorry. You're right.
I'm an idiot. You were right the whole time.
You do.
I know. It's like,
so,
okay.
That'll be the thing for us to reflect on in the next couple of weeks. What happens, or the next 1, 2, I guess over the next 90 days.
Yeah.
If things come to pass, or if they don't, what does that mean?
See?
Yeah.
We'll wait and see.
We will wait and see.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's do this.
All right, then. Again, it's on.
It's on. A couple of weeks.
Okay, guys. Everyone that's listening, like couple of us, let's all pay attention. Let's the goal is to see what happens over the next 90 days, everyone. And are we gonna freak out? Is it not to get freaked? I mean, like, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. So, all right then.
All right.
That's where we're gonna leave off at. We're gonna see what happens. 90 days.
90 days.
90 days.
All right.
All right then, friend. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you're doing better. Glad you're on. And we'll see everybody soon.
All right.
Cool.
Bye.